Well, I will talk to you about mysterious art of creative or idea generation. It's not something that's new. I'm not going to talk about how do we brainstorm, how do we think of 100 ideas. But what I will present to you today, it's very simple ideas that we can take from everyday life. But what is important in order to master the art of idea generation? First of all, how often do you hear from your boss, who usually sit in the box, which is their own room, telling us that we have to think outside the box? Very often to me. It's very easy for people to impose on us that you have to be more creative. Okay, how and why? And there are questions that they don't answer, and we always struggle with, okay, so I need to be more creative. I need to, okay, but how do you do it exactly? Aside from just brainstorming and trying to write down 5 ideas that someone else had thought before, it's very easy to fall into the trap of recycling ideas, because this is how the world today are. It's easy to go into plagiarism, to copy what someone else has done. And that is what we have learned throughout the journey of life, to be safe, to do something that has proven to use best practice, or to steal with pride. But trust me, it's in every one of us. We can think outside the box, and we can think a lot more than what we already do. And I will bring to you 3 different tools, or 3 different ideas of how we can achieve that. One, it's something that child has always been using, and children are really, really creative because we are born to be creative. Number 2, believe it or not, women has a way of being creative as well, but that's a tool that's built within them, and that's something we can master as well, even if you're not a woman. And third, of course, we learned from the best, Mr. Alex Osborne. He has already invented a tool that I'll be sharing with you. So these will be the 3 things I would like you to take back at the end of the speech. But what's more important is the attitude. That's what matters more. It's easy to say that we need to be creative, but it's not easy to build in this attitude, saying that, believing that, yes, I can be creative. And there's 4 different ideas that we need to impose in our mind. Is that before you try to be creative, or before you try to think creatively, first thing first, never judge an idea before it's being built on the better ways. And it's all about never put a judge. I mean, I'm sure that the first person that said that we can fly, it's impossible. The person is crazy. And trust me, always ideas start off by being wild and start off by being impossible, but it will build onto something that really matters. And number 2, always strive for quantity. At the first start session of being creative, the whole idea is getting 100 ideas. It's not about getting 10 that will work, but it's about getting 100 that will build into 10 that will really, really be useful at the end of the day. And of course, the third idea is to build on something. It doesn't need to be something that's totally new, but it can be something that you build on, and that's something that's existing. Just because a solution doesn't work at the moment doesn't mean that it can't be improved to be a better solution. So that's the boring part of it. So let's move on to the interesting part. What can we learn from child? Children, what they like to do usually, they always question, and I'm sure, how many of you have children or have child, really young ones? Young means below 16. So that's relatively almost half of them. I don't have a child, but if you observe how children are being really passionate about what they do, this is a method that we call a how method. It's not something that's totally new. It's not extraordinary. It's not something that's evolutionary, but it's something that we always forget to do. Let me just bring you to an example how we can do that. First, we always identify a problem. What do we want to solve? Let me just bring an example that's relevant to all of you. Our club, we have the potential of attracting more members, but as of now, we are lacking of very active members. So we have a problem called lack of members. So how do we solve that? Anyone would like to have a suggestion? It can be anything.
Advertise.
Yes, so we can advertise. Yeah, so that's a good one. So let's call that idea number 1.
Website.
Having ugly writing is one way of being creative too, sorry. Yes.
Have a strong website.
Has a strong website, yes. Strong website. Maybe a third one?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yeah. So that's very good. So these 3 ideas, how? How are we going to advertise? It's easy to say we should advertise, but how can we advertise it? Through which channel?
Pamphlets or billboards or something.
Yeah, so it will be billboards. Yeah, that's one way. Perhaps on magazines that are relevant to the trade as well, yeah.
With a lot of traffic here, radio seems to be a good medium.
Radio, yeah.
Facebook.
Facebook, that's a very good idea too. Social networking, that's a... So we have one. And what about having a stronger website? What can we do? How do we do it? We have a website right now, so how do we make it a stronger website?
Driving traffic to it.
Driving more traffic to the website, yeah. That's a very good idea.
From promoting the website.
Promoting the website, yes.
And the radio's been mentioned, and also wherever we do any advertising, we should have the website.
That's great. So link everything here by mentioning the link, yeah? That's great. What about word of mouth? That sounds easy, by just spreading the word. So who shall start having word of mouth or spreading word about our work?
The existing members?
By members, yes. That's really great. So that's each and every one of us, the commitment.
Colleagues?
Colleagues, so that's a good way of doing it as well. And how do we reach out to the billboard?
You could have a reward system.
A reward system to word of mouth, so there's a reward system. So member get member, the more member
Get a
you
prize
do,
or
you get some
something.
kind of reward. So Girish, may I present to you, that's your marketing plan for next year. See, it's actually quite easy. All I did is I did not come with any ideas, and the question was pointed out before I had done any brainstorming. But this came from 20 of us, and all we need to do is to question how. How do we do? It's all about pushing the idea further, and this is what child usually do. Why do I need to eat vegetable? Okay, and how do I grow up? How did I come out from, how did you make babies? Or, I mean, there are questions we can answer, of course, but there are questions where they just keep questioning because they want to know how. And we, as an adult, we tend to assume that we know. We do, but it doesn't mean that it will be translated into action, so that's one way of doing it. And the second method, that is an easy method, will be called a rubber ducking method. That's something women are really good at doing. When they come to you and say, I have a problem, but you only need to listen to me, you don't need to come back with a suggestion, but only listen and nod, and acknowledge that you're listening. So that's a method that women has been using all this while. I can just quote to you, I had no clue what I needed to talk about today. I know I need to make a speech, but I know I need to be creative as well. So I started talking to another friend. I said, well, I want to talk, but it doesn't mean that I want a conversation. I just need someone to listen. And while I'm formulating my thoughts in my mind, while I formulate how to convey my problem to her or to him, in the end I figure out, okay, I can make a speech about being creative, because if being creative is a problem, I should study more, and this is why I'm having a speech with you today. And time is running out, but I'm glad that at least we have something that's done. And so stay tuned. In my next speech, I will talk about the third method that I will share with you from the profession. Thank you very much. So